That's my baby. That's my baby.
We're going at it at 110%.
I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
And they scored! They did it!
Left, feet left.
What the hell was that?
Oh, yeah! What the fuck are you talking about?
Hey, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're back for another episode of our Athlete Spotlight, and this afternoon we're going to be joined by Quentin Henry, and we're going to be talking about his matchup ahead of his February 5th matchup against Chris the Cripper Leben. A lot of words have been said already. This is going to be a fun matchup. You know, obviously a fan-friendly matchup, a matchup that both these men have been looking forward to. If memory serves me, Chris has asked for this matchup, so this should be fireworks, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't gotten a chance to buy the pay-per-view, go get the app. Make sure you're tuned in, but outside of Quentin and Chris's matchup, there's going to be some fun fights on this Knuckle Mania February 5th. Leading into Super Bowl weekend, there's going to be a lot of fun going down there in the Tampa Bay area. So if you're in that Florida area, make sure you guys are tuning in. But before I get too far ahead of myself, obviously, let's get our sponsor reads out of the way. And, this show is brought to you by our doc, Make 'em Your Doc, Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, 2 locations in Burlington and Cherry Hill. He's our doc, make him yours. And make sure you also check out the social media posts we've been putting out for the voting for our doc there as well. And our poll question today is also brought to you by All Campus. Check them out either at the Ocean City Boardwalk or online at All Campus for all your team sports apparel. You discount code A2D 50% on your online orders. And that poll question is: will Quentin Henry spoil Chris Leben's swan song? Agree to disagree? Fans, tune in, chime in, let us know. We're live here on YouTube and Twitter Periscope. So make sure we get everything going with that. Quentin, definitely been wanting to catch up with you for a little bit. Vince has been kind of throwing your name at me for a while. Been kind of tuned in what you've been doing here since you've signed up here with Bare Knuckle Boxing. Kind of, a lot of MMA guys have kind of made this transition over the last 2, 3, 4 years to Bare Knuckle Boxing, just because simple fact it is what Dave Feldman has done with this. He's ultimately created a new sport inside of combat sports over the last handful of years, and a lot of guys who have the style for it, have that warrior spirit, can really be able to take advantage of this type of sport. Quentin, obviously, you're one of those rare breeds. One of them is, you're a guy that's kind of ascending here. Obviously, with Chris kind of calling you out here and asking for this matchup for his final fight. So I want to get your thoughts on that one. What were your thoughts when you heard that? Hey, this is the guy that Chris wants to end his career with?
Man, it's an honor more than anything. Because coming from a guy like him, because he's wanting to fight the toughest fight they can for his last fight. So, he chose me because he thinks I can give that to him. So, it's a big deal. I mean, that's the way I feel. I mean, he's even said that, when he talks about, why he chose this fight. And really, I think it's helping me out a lot more than he knows, because I was kind of at a spot now where I didn't have anybody to fight that I knew of anyway. I don't think anybody wanted to fight me. So, and that's what made him want to fight me. So, I'm fortunate in the fact that I'm going to get to fight, a big name like that, because a lot of times they are worried about, letting a guy that doesn't have as much shine, give them that opportunity, and Chris ain't about that life. Chris is about fighting, and that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I've always loved about Chris. I mean, I've been a fan of him a long time. We've had him here on the show a couple times. Had him on here with Pizza C Manoa. Fun time during the whole quarantine lockdown, and he's always a guy that kind of really turns out for the fans, no matter what. He's one of those guys that's electric, regardless if it's in a win, a loss. Chris never has he may have a bad performance, but it's never a bad fight.
Yeah, I think that's what's funny is that we're similar in that way, because and that's kind of why, I've always related to him as a fan or just fighting, because he is a normal guy on the outside. And we even had an interview last night where we were on at the same time, and some guy was kind of talking about us hurting each other. And I'm like, bro, I don't want to hurt him. I just want to go fight him. That's all we're doing,
of course, you guys are gonna hide. Like that's what people don't ever forget about. Like when you guys do that, of course, hurting each other is obviously part of the profession you're in, but there's a warrior's code. It's like you don't want to go out there and leave the guy in a situation like that. Like when Chris says he wants to body bag you, it's not in the pretense of injury. It's in the pretense
right.
I'm gonna knock this guy out.
Yeah, it's part of what you're planning to do. I said some funny things. It's what guys do. We say funny things, and back and forth. It's not personal. I don't have to hate him to fight him. At the end of the day, this is work for us. We're fortunate that we get to do this to make a living, but it's work. So, I don't have to hate the guy to fight him. You think Tom Brady hates Patrick Mahomes? He's not pulling for him to win, but he doesn't hate him. But that's kind of the thing. We're two competitors and we go in there and we try and compete. And that's kind of the way, and people relate and they like Chris because when he goes in there to fight, he kind of becomes a different animal. And I feel like that's why they like me too. And it's an entertaining thing to see. So I think having both of us in there in the zone is going to be fireworks.
That's probably, I think one of the things that people are really going to tune in for is what you guys are going to do is because Chris is one of those guys. He's not going to dance around. He's not going to play games. You guys are going to throw bombs. And for anyone who thinks the judges are going to be needed for this fight, you got another thing coming. I don't
right.
see it. I don't. And unless you guys find a way to not find each other's chin, but still wind up having a crazy fight, that's the only way I could see it. But I like the way that both of you fight. I just hook or by crook, one way or another. One of you is gonna hit the canvas at some point in time.
Well, that's and that's kind of what I tell people is I don't get paid to win. I get paid to fight. And Chris is the same way. So when you go out there and you're fighting to fight, you're going to take more chances. There's going to be a chance that you might get caught, by something and get busted or, have more cuts or whatever. But at the end of the day, you didn't hold anything back and you can live with that, So, when you go in there fighting not to lose, it makes one for a boring fight. And then if you end up losing anyway, you're like, damn, well, it's probably because I was holding back, the whole time. I wasn't taking those chances because I was scared to lose. But, I think we're fortunate in the effect that doesn't apply here. And, same for me. I don't see this fight as something that affects me as far as like rankings and, all this other stuff. I think I see this as like a super fight, when they have Diaz and Masvidal fight for the BMF title and stuff like that, this is a super fight. This isn't going to be anything like the winner, because if he wins, he's not coming back to fight for a title or anything like that, and then
if anyone paid attention last night, he's going to be, he's going to be in a mentorship program for BKFC.
This isn't about that. This is about going out there and having a good fight. And, I think we're both on the same page with that.
Yeah. And you kind of spoke on it where no one really wants to fight you. And Chris is kind of giving you a little shine on here by kind of calling you out and giving you the super fight for bare knuckle boxing. So it's one of those things where you have everything to gain in this fight regardless. So, win or lose, you're a winner. At the end of the day.
Yeah. And it's one of those things that makes bare knuckle different than MMA and boxing. You know, we're appreciated for our performance, not what our record is. You know, so you know, but I mean, I say that at the same time. You know, like Donald Cerrone is one of the most entertaining fighters. That dude's never had a title. You know, but people buy the pay-per-views when he's on them. They're like, oh yeah, Donald Cerrone's fighting. You know, but it's because Donald Cerrone comes to fight. And
I think it's one of the
he's
misconceptions
there
of MMA that
entertaining.
you're kind of touching on right here. The misconception of in MMA too, as well, is you don't necessarily have to be the winner to be one of the more popular fighters in the sport.
Yeah, and well, that's one of the things I don't like about MMA. That you know, the trash talk and all that kind of gets you more than what your performance does. You know, so you know, but they, you know, if you're fighting tough guys, they take that into account, and it's not so much like in the UFC scene because everybody up there's good, so doesn't affect you as much. But when you're not on like in the UFC or Bellator, as a professional fighter, if you take one loss in MMA, it sets you back 2 or 3 years in your career because no one will even look at you until you've had a 2, 3, 4 fight win. Well, at least like 3 or 4 fight win streak, and you can't fight. You know, you might get 4 fights in a year if you're lucky. You know, so but in bare knuckle, it's not about that. Like if you go in there in bare knuckle, I've seen people get starched, but when they came out, David Feldman was like, "That shit was awesome." And I'll see you on the next show. You know, so it's and that takes away a lot of the stress as a fighter worrying about where your next paycheck's going to come from. You know, because I can go out there and fight as hard as I can every day, but I can't promise you I'm going to win. You know, but my next paycheck in MMA and boxing depends on that. And in bare knuckle boxing, it just depends on you going out there and fighting. And I think that's why I'm allowed. That's why I honestly think that's why I perform better in bare knuckle boxing because there's less pressure involved. You know, if I go out there and fight with Chris Leben for 4 rounds and we both get bloody and bang it out, and he starches me, and I'm on every highlight reel for the next 6 months. You know, I'm going to be fighting as soon as I'm off medical clearance, and I'm probably going to have a bigger paycheck than the one that I got this time. You know, but in MMA, that wouldn't be the case. You know, my pay would be cut in half. I wouldn't have any of the sponsors that I got this time. You know, they don't care who I lost to. It's the fact that I lost, and promoters a lot of times will take advantage of that.
They do kind of take advantage of a guy on an L streak, kind of just like, hey,
well, this
is what we're offering you.
of it, or it's just the nature of the beast, and nobody's
hey, listen, it is because it's like we said that there's dark parts of combat sports that people really don't want to talk about. Me, we talk about that. I talk about it a lot. I've been talking about it a lot over the last 10 years that, you know, there's things that people don't understand about that goes on in the sport that it just makes part of it rough for, you know, both athlete, family, promoter, everything. It's just rough all the way around. But
I mean, it's tough to
at the end of the day, like you were saying,
so.
like you know, like as much as people love Dana, like you guys, a lot of the BKFC guys are finding there's a lot of great things about Dave. He is a genuine dude that really cares about his athletes, and he stands by his word. Like what you said, like you know, you don't have to worry about if that hammer's coming over your head because you know I showed out. You see a place for guys like, you know, who's been kind of defuncted in other ways, like Julian Lane. Julian Lane has been kind of, you know, he's had life has thrown him a rough go of it, but he's, you know, at least over the last few years has found himself a home in bare knuckle boxing. So I mean, it's one of the things that I think is also great about it, and you know, the other thing about it is, hey, like you guys are having another platform on this on top of it because you're kind of attaching yourself both to you know, Super Bowl weekend, both being in that city, in that town. You already know that you guys are going to have a little bit more eyes on you than you normally would as it anyways. What do you think about the uniqueness of taking advantage of that opportunity, and are you going to go try to catch the game?
I'm too poor to go watch the game in person. But yeah, I am planning on. I extended my room for another 2 nights so I can be in town for the game. So if anybody awesome is paying attention and wants to take me to the Super Bowl, me and my buddy, and you know, then yeah. But and otherwise, we're just like, you know, it would just be cool to be in the town, while the Super Bowl is going down. So there's gonna be fun stuff to do around there, I think, and hopefully I'm feeling pretty good. I'm not real sore and battered, by come Sunday, but I expect to be pretty sore, but I just want to be functional, and then I can go enjoy the Super Bowl type of deal. That's fun, and the thing is, every one of these BKFC cards gets bigger. Each
Absolutely.
one is bigger than the next, and that's kind of what's exciting about it right now, because there's so many people that are stars and future stars that are still being discovered. And, it's just entertaining fights every time a new guy comes around, a new area of the country gets involved, and it's just multiplying. So, I think this is the biggest card of this year, but it's only February. I think before the year's over, we're going to have one way bigger than this. And, I just think it's a matter of time.
Yeah, I see somewhere around as soon as like summer hits, June, July, right around there is where Dave will put another big one together. But let me get another one of my reads out of here, out of the way. And many of our families deal with mental health addiction issues, but both combat sports and life in general. So we're happy to support counseling at the Sunrise Detox. So if you need any help, anyone needs any help, regardless, how you feel, you need to give a call here at 856-651-8117. But heading back over here to what's going on with you guys now. What are you looking for moving forward after this? Like win, lose, or draw. Like what are your designs to 2021 as far as your BKFC career?
This will put my second fight in less than 2 months. And I spent all year last year training for a fight that never came, or really didn't come until December. So after this one, I think that puts me 3-0 in the 205 division, and then I think then it's time for me to sit back and see what's up. A lot of these other guys, there hasn't been a lot of activity at 205 right now, so I need to get back to focusing on my gym. I miss getting to go teach jiu-jitsu. They understand that I'm gone, and I got some great coaches that are covering for me, but I like being there. So, it's about time for my son to start taking jiu-jitsu and stuff like that too. So, I'd like to,
I'm in that boat with you right there now too, because my son's like 8, 9. Like we just had him. He was over at a gym that was right around the corner from his mom's house, and because of COVID, the gym got killed.
Right.
And I feel really bad for the girl, because really love her. She's a local girl. Recently got her black belt the last few years. Recently just made her pro debut, and you just watch everything kind of fall apart for her. Lose the gym, lose her fight. My kid loses the training center. So and then he was just asking me last night, Dad, when can I start doing MMA and jiu-jitsu again? So I'm right there with you in that boat, man. Like when you have kids that are right in that age, and especially when you're in a unique situation, because you're like the ultimate, you're like Superman to them right now. Like you're a professional fighter. You're on TV. You can be sitting there. Look at my dad. My dad beating people up. What are your dad doing? So
my daughter's 9, and she's into it. She realizes kind of like I'm a big deal, but my boys still have no idea. He
hasn't gotten a hold of it yet. Yeah.
So he's about to start training, but he just turned 4.
My kid does the same thing. Like my kids do the same thing. Like you're on YouTube, Dad. But I'm like, yeah, doesn't mean I'm famous yet. Relax, kid.
Yeah.
Relax.
So I tell him I'm just popular. Famous people are rich.
Yeah. Well, that's the hope with this fight, right? That's the hope. You get the big finish, however it happens, and you kind of springboard yourself, through 2021. Hopefully, you get yourself in a title fight.
Yeah, I mean that's the goal. That's what I'm looking forward to. Eventually fighting for a title. I don't.
Tommy says semi-public figure.
Right. Yeah. They it's fun, man. I'm looking forward to the fight. I've got this one coming up. I don't know what plans they have after that. I don't know what's becoming of the 205 division. You know, so we're kind of gonna take it easy, see what's up, get back to you know, eating a little bit more, stop skipping out on family meals because you know, there's sometimes like my mother-in-law cooks really good and you know stuff like that, and she's always cooking, inviting us over, and I'm like, I'm just gonna stay home.
You're
You
like,
know, but
I'm gonna stay out of
it's
this one. I need
it's
to
not
I need to
because
stay
I
in my
don't,
weight
you
class.
know, I don't want to be rude, but I'm not gonna go over there and not eat.
But also, like you
So
said, you spent half of last year training for fights that didn't happen. Like, so I
right,
guess
you know.
at least for the immediate future, you know, we're gonna, you know, we're probably gonna take a few months off, right?
Well, I mean, I'll continue and train and stuff, you know, but when you got a fight coming up, there's nights, you know, where you're at home and your son's like, you know, don't go. I want you to stay here. Well, when you don't have a fight coming up, you're like, all right,
Okay.
I can miss a night, you know, but when there's a fight coming up, you can't do that, you know, so, you know, just get back to having
Did
that
you
sense of
ever
freedom again.
think of like you know getting to the point where you start entailing them a little bit more in the process, like so they can kind of get a grip of what's going on?
Yeah, I take him to the gym and stuff with me. Like I don't make them train when they're
No, I
there,
didn't say
but
like make them train or anything. Like
right,
just
yeah.
so he can understand like what you have to go through to get to that point.
Yeah, they're no, I don't know. They see me train. They don't know any different, I guess, but I mean, they understand. I guess maybe when they're older, you know, because when I was a kid, my dad every night was at, or, well, you know, I say it was every night, but he went and trained Taekwondo when he got home from work, and it was just what he did. And you know, then when I got older and like I'm doing that, to me that's just it's normal, you know, but most people that's not normal. So you know, but I grew up watching my dad work out, and so that's just something that was normal to me. And you know, it's the same thing with training. I'm never going to stop training. I train to be healthy. I train to feel good, and you know, I compete because I can. And you know, it doesn't make any sense to not test yourself when you're at that level. And that's the way when it first started out. When I first started fighting, it was just like, all right, yeah, let's see what happens, you know. And it just kept going from there. So you know, here we are. You know, it's funny because like I was talking, they asked Chris Leben last night. They were like, you know, what advice do you want to give him? You know, a young up and comer and this and that. You know, and like, yeah, I am younger than him, but I'm 31 years old. Like I'm grown as shit. Like I'm not a little kid. You know, but like. And he, you know, he gave some good advice. You know, he was like, watch your money, you know, watch who you trust. You know, people are going to be there that you know, this and that. And all I could think when he said it, I'm like, that's great advice that I would have been awesome when I was 20. Like, all those things you told me not to do, bro, already done them. Already did them. I had to learn the hard way, you know.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
so
that's the same thing.
11
Like
years
it's the
ago,
same thing when you're a
yeah,
teenager, right. You know, like when your parents sit
right,
there and say, like, all right, you can't do this, you can't do that, and then you know, like you know, you always like if not you always have if somebody within your crew that was always pushing against
yeah,
that and you know, kind of running with the wrong people and stuff like that. So
right,
you kind of see like through your friends sometimes, luckily, or if not, you have your own personal, you know, mistakes and misfallings. We all like even Chris, like he went through his battles, you know, early on in his career, and you know, even like as we were, you know, we're talking about one of our sponsors with mental health issues and addiction and stuff like that, and you see guys bounce back in life and kind of turn that corner. It's, you know, it's one of the things in MMA you kind of see the ebb and flows of up and down. Like you even see it like with Conor. Hey, nice neck crack there, brother. Heard that one.
Oh, did y'all hear that?
I heard that one loud and clear.
I think I missed one.
There you
There
go.
it was.
Oh,
Yeah,
there's another one.
sorry.
But it's like one of the things, like even like the people's personal turmoil. You even see it in ebb and flows of the actual performances in MMA. Like even like look at Conor. You know, when his ascension up, and you know we're seeing him like you know coming back down again. Even in his loss, like a lot of people are still extremely popular to that. Is that something you kind of hope like when you get to that point, like now, like regardless of your performance, like you kind of hope that you continue to hold that hold on the people is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I think it all just comes down to not, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know,
Yeah.
so what you were doing in the first place to get you where you're going, you could always make improvements on. But as far as, as a character, as a brand, you just got to stick to your brand. You can't really take it too far. And, he's been through bouts of that where, where he like was throwing, shit through windows on a bus, but, any publicity is good publicity, for a lot of that.
I still think like that's part of like him kind of like coming into who he is as a person. I think you're kind of seeing him be starting to kind of calm down into that kind of getting a hold of who he is. Some people kind of go a little nuts when they get it. Some people don't. I think
people look at it the wrong way because they don't give him the credit. So like when he knocked out Jose Aldo, he was like 26 years old, and that's, now that I'm 31, I was a kid when I was 26 years old still.
Mm-hmm.
And if you would have given me that type of platform and that type of popularity and that money, there's no telling what that would have made me or anybody for that matter, So, I mean, that's what I tell people. That's the biggest difference of me now and me when I was 26 or when I was 20 years old, when I first turned pro. It's, I used to train harder than I do now. I used to be able to run faster, but I would beat the crap out of me 10 years ago, so, but it's because mentally I'm more mature. And I think that's what you're seeing with Conor is he's kind of getting more mature in the game. And, I think there's people that are going to give him flack whether he wins or loses. But I think he still holds some credibility because
not just that. I just think it's lessons to be learned for all types of combat sports athletes. Just coming up, whatever, regardless of how you feel about him. He's kind of showing everyone like, hey, no one is ever going to be bigger than the game, and we all have our faults as human beings. It's it's how you kind of conduct yourself and run yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that was his goal. He's always coming in with that mindset that he's the man.
But, absolutely, and there's nothing wrong with that.
I think that a lot. The reason that people aren't taking that loss to Dustin Poirier so well is because how impressed they were with Dustin Poirier. It wasn't like, oh, he lost and Dustin Poirier beat him. It was like, holy shit!
And it's one of those things. Like I was very impressed with it.
And Conor McGregor.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's nothing to take that away from Dustin. And I was one of the guys. I really liked what I was hearing, what I was seeing from Conor moving forward. And I didn't think. I thought it was going to be, Conor was just going to get him in the second round. But as seen the way that first round started going, and then I was like, you know what? I don't know. I think Dustin might have actually caught up to him. So I know a lot of people are calling for a third fight and all that stuff like that. Like listen, whatever the UFC decides is great, but like it's one of those things where it's kind of unique to kind of see, the king have the crown, get knocked down, getting back up, and he's still. Now you're finding guys like Dustin, and like I already said, he's grown leaps and bounds since their first matchup. They're both totally different fighters, both of them.
Right.
The
difference I think in the two fights was his ability to take a punch, and I think when you're cutting, that's what he said. That's why he did so much better at lightweight when he moved up, was because he's not cutting as much weight. He feels better, and I think, and that's what I was telling people before the fight. They asked me who I think is going to win. I said, well, I know that Dustin's going to get caught with some good shots because Conor McGregor catches everybody with good shots. But if Dustin can take them, he can win. And that's what happened, because he even said in the fight, he was like, man, he hit me with one. He was like, I was hurt. If he would have followed up with it and, if he would have been cutting another 10 pounds and been that much more dehydrated, that punch that just hurt him could have dropped him, So, a lot of people don't take stuff like that in consideration, and I don't think Conor McGregor did either.
Hey, listen, I'm definitely with you that Conor might have definitely taken Dustin a little bit for granted, and you might have definitely heard a little bit of that kind of going, in that post fight stuff, and that's probably why he wants that third fight. Be interesting to see how it happens, what they're going to do with it. Regardless, man, that dude's going to be here for at least a handful more years to perform. Now, what is your plan with it? Like you already said, you're 31. Like you see how sometimes a lot of these guys hang on maybe a little bit too long. You're definitely in one of those sports where might not be a good idea to do like that. What do you see in your next 3 to 5 year plan in combat sports? Are you going to wind up transition a little bit more into coaching? What are your goals?
Man, I'm a firm believer in you got to strike while the iron's hot. And, life's full of highs and lows, and everything is finances, careers, all that. There's highs and there's lows. So, I'm going to ride the high as long as I can. And, when it quits being fun to me, then I'm going to cash my chips in and I'll be gone. So, that's kind of where I'm at with it. As far as if I'll fight
I don't
for
see you
another
quitting
3
anytime
years or
soon, man.
another
I
5 years,
think you're
don't know.
born for the sport, man. I don't see you quitting anytime soon.
No, that's not the plan at all. I definitely want to be a world champion. I want to have a belt, at least one of them. And, who's to say how long that takes me? And once I do it, what else is there to prove type of deal? Is it worth, going back in there and
here's the
continuing
thing.
to
All
get
right,
beat
let's
up?
say
But if the money's there, then it is worth it,
Argument's
So,
sake, right?
right.
Let's play devil's advocate, right? You wind up winning that title, early 2022, right?
I should have it before the year's out.
I mean, it could be before the year's
Yeah.
out, but like I said, you don't know how the timing of that works out. That's why I said at least early 2022. I'm not Mr. Matchmaker with the crystal ball. I don't know what they're going to do after this fight for you, win, lose, or draw either. That's why I'm giving myself a window, right? You win the belt. What is the belt the ultimate goal, or is there also cementing the legacy also important as well? Like, do you want to just be a world champion, or do you want to be known as somebody who pushed BKFC's 205, like being known as like the Chuck Liddell of bare knuckle boxing, who really takes this division to a next platform to kind of really take BKFC to a next platform?
Yeah, I think I'm the guy to do that. 100%. Once I get that first belt, then it depends on where the interesting fights are. Honestly, I got to take it one goal at a time. But goal number one is to get the first belt, whether that's at 205 or if I got to drop to 195. I feel great at 205. I feel like that's my best division. That's the plan there. Get that belt, and then after that, I want to get more of them. Whether that's one more or two more, or whatever's going to happen. Because if I can get that 205 belt, then my name will be in the Hall of Fame as the very first sanctioned 205-pound bare knuckle champion in history. That's a big thing to me, and right there, that's an accomplishment you can hang your hat on. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like you gotta be honest with yourself and say how much is in the tank. So I mean, it might. I might have one fight after this next one to the end of the year. You never know. Or I might have another 3, before I'm able to get there. So, and every fight you take at every training camp you have takes damage on you. And, so if it's, once I get that first one, yeah, I'd like to be, after that, I want to be the first, 2-division champ in bare knuckle boxing. And then you're arguably, one of the greatest of all time for the rest of history. So, but yeah, it's one goal at a time. And right now it's Chris Leben. I want to have fight of the year for 2020 or 20. This is 2021, right? Yeah. Thank God that last one was over. So yeah, I want fight of the year for 2021. Fight of the year, win or lose, sets me up for the next one. And that's what I'm paid to do, and that's what I'm coming out to do.
I have no doubt both you and Chris are going to perform. It's definitely, like I said, one of the reasons I definitely wanted to get you on. I mean, we wanted to get you on before that, but now it's definitely it was definitely a must have. I had to sit down, have a conversation with the man. We got we got a lot of fun stuff leading to this. Definitely had a lot of fun talking to you this afternoon. Before I send you along your way, because I know we're a little bit past the time I gave you here, what I typically do is throw the proverbial microphone over to you. Anyone you would like to, send some love to, shoot your sponsors out, social media. Tell people where to follow you on social media. Tell them where to get that awesome hero gear you got on your chest there as well. All that good stuff.
Yeah, I'm social media, Snapchat and Instagram. It's the Hero Henry. Those are really the only two that I'm on. Facebook, I've got the Hero Henry. I got my fan page on there. You can keep up with stuff. Sponsors: Traxler Chiropractic, First Choice Bail Bonds, Parker Collision, AirMed Hemp Extract. I got their shirt on today. They sent me this shirt. It's super cozy, man. And these hoodies I got are soft too. If you go to my bio in my Instagram, the link to get my merch is on there. I got 4 or 5 different designs on there for t-shirts and stuff. And then we got Redhead Roofing, Johnny's Pizza. What? I can't eat Johnny's Pizza right now, but after my fight, I will eat a lot of Johnny's Pizza. Armed Forces Roofing and Construction, B-Lit Organics. They're out of Denver. This lady makes, she gets, I say lady, she's like my age. She's super cool. But she does like organic bee-wax, balms, and all that kind of stuff, and they're like man scents. So it's manly type stuff. I got to get my stuff put together and take like a good picture so I can put on my sponsor stuff. But their stuff's awesome. And then PRP Speed Shop, Dread Car Nutrition, and then Fight Night Promotions, and Iron Jaw Custom Mouth Guard. Oh, and then I got my gyms, Hero Fitness Academy, and Goat Combat is my management company. Vince and Scott taking care of me, setting everything up. But Hero Fit Nutrition, that's my tea shop. And then the Fuel Factory, that's my other tea shop. So y'all come by if you're in town, get your energy tea.
There you go. You got a lot of business stuff going on, but besides the fighting career too. So definitely love to see our combat sport athletes being diverse. So definitely, if you guys aren't going to be tuning in to the fights, at least make sure you're helping them out with some of their personal endeavors. Make sure you're hitting up Quentin's tea shops there. I'm definitely got to check that out for you there, brother.
All right, appreciate it, man.
But really appreciate the time. As I say to all my fighters, man, best of skill February 5th. I'm impartial on this one. I love both of you guys. I definitely want to see a fun fight.
Yeah, I understand. I'm the same way. I don't want to see Chris Leben lose either, but I'd rather be him than me.
Yeah, don't want to see him lose, but at least on February 5th,
yeah, but I sure don't want to see me lose.
Yeah. Like, hey, this is a paycheck. This is business. I love you, Chris, but
right.
Any parting shots for Mr. Leben?
No, man. I just want to tell him thanks. I hope he dyes his hair pink. I hope he does. That would complete it for me. I think I've seen that on a bunch of comments too. It's not just me. I think all the fans want to see it too. So, but we'll see. Shout out to him, respect to him, and I'm ready.
Definitely, didn't expect anything less from you, my friend. Appreciate your time this afternoon. Best of skill to you guys. Again, guys, if you haven't gotten it, make sure you head over to BKFC app and check it out. Get the pay-per-view. Thanks for your time, my friend. We'll be catching up again sometime soon, hopefully.
Sir, thanks for having me, bud.
Anytime, my friend. You have a good one.